This is what it looks like when you breathe 40 times a minute, have an oxygen level that's dipping well below 80. This is what it's going to look like. I hope that the last moments of your life don't look like this. Because this is what you'll see at the end of your life if we don't start wearing masks when we're out in public. When we don't practice social distancing. When we don't wash our hands frequently. Because I promise you, this will be what you see. I promise you, this is what your mother or your father or your children, when they get COVID disease, will see at the end of their life. This is serious. I beg you, please practice the precautions to reduce transmission of COVID disease so that we can effectively prevent disease for you and your loved ones.
Across the land, including the family of the man who for many months was the public face at the center of the COVID outbreak. Tracy Smith is at home with the Cuomos.
Okay. Who wants to say grace?
I can start.
Go ahead.
In this house, like so many other homes across America, Sundays mean dinner with the family.
I got banned from meatball making once by Grandma. Who's making them too breadcrumby.
Grandma takes it quite seriously. Still to this day.
And in this family, like so many others, the adult kids have moved back home. Michaela, Mariah, and Cara Kennedy Cuomo, all quarantining together with Governor Andrew Cuomo, their dad.
I actually remember when Dad called me right at the beginning of this and said, this is going to be a big deal, and you should be here for it.
So you, Governor, you kind of engineered this, getting all of your girls back together under one roof?
Yeah. I don't know that you can say that I can engineer anything with my girls, but I was suggestive of the concept. I wanted them here. I wanted them with me. I needed them in many ways.
For 111 days straight, Governor Cuomo held briefings about COVID-19. He says he tried to present just the facts, but the facts were often grim.
The curve is actually increasing.
On one day alone, April 8th, New York lost 799 lives to the virus.
That is so shocking and painful and breathtaking. I don't even have the words for it.
Sometimes he would come home and you could see it on him, and you would hear sort of this big, deep breath that he takes. And then you would know that he is stressed.
Did he sleep?
He didn't sleep for 111 days.
Just like their dad and his late dad, Governor Mario Cuomo, these young women have activism in their blood. Their mom and Cuomo's former wife, Carrie Kennedy, founded the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Project, named after their grandfather. So, of course, when the time came, the Kennedy-Cuomo daughters jumped right into COVID relief efforts. A state contest for ads encouraging mask use was Mariah's idea.
I wear a mask to protect you.
You wear a mask to protect me.
The governor marshaled public support and resources, and it worked. As New York COVID numbers fell, the daughters say people across the world started asking for advice, so they told their dad he had to do more.
It sounds like you guys kind of pushed him. We're getting all these requests for how'd you do it? We need to come out with something?
Right. From the first day, we were all saying, you have to write this down. You have to communicate this somehow.
The result is a new book, American Crisis, Leadership Lessons from the COVID-19 Pandemic.
When is it over? Nobody knows.
But to some, a book about lessons seems, if not presumptuous, at least a bit premature. COVID cases are on the rise in a number of states, including New York.
Do you see how some people say this is you taking a victory lap in the middle of a pandemic?
Oh, there's no victory here. The game isn't over. This is halftime in the game. Let's learn the lesson from the first half of the game and play a better second half. But we have to play a whole second half of this game. and there's going to be another virus and another infection and another bacteria, and we can't make the mistakes we made this time.
Still, to date, the state leads the nation in coronavirus deaths, more than 30,000.
You know that there are people out there saying, wait a minute, why is he setting himself up as the guy who did everything right? New York still has the largest number of deaths of any state.
Well, New York has the largest number of deaths because New York had the largest number of cases. We had a much worse infection rate than any other state. And we had it before anyone knew anything about COVID. What happened in New York was unique. We were ambushed. Nobody knew the virus was here. That's not true 5 months later. Everybody knows it's here. There is no reason that we still have this infection rate going up across the country. There is just no reason.
The governor knows his family has been lucky. For months, he could only talk with his 89-year-old mother, Matilda, via Zoom. But they finally had a face-to-face visit.
It turned out fine at the end of the day, but I feel like I lost a lot of time with her that I just wish that I hadn't.
When he talked about his family in the briefings, New Yorkers saw a softer side of Cuomo that maybe only those closest to him knew before.
Is he touchy-feely? No, but I think he is an amazingly vulnerable man. Do you like that?
I'll take that. Sensitive. I'm a sensitive soul.
Yeah.
Are you a sensitive soul?
I'm a sensitive soul.
The governor's girls have become his roommates and his co-workers and his fiercest defenders.
So, as protective as you are of your dad, and as much as you want to protect him, I would imagine there will come a time when you guys are going to leave again, right?
No, there will never come a time when they leave. That is not going to happen. Why would they want to leave?
They do have exciting lives of their own. They might want to go pursue those.
No, they can do that with me, right? You can stay here with me and do whatever you want to do.
Their dad is also a bachelor. His long-term relationship with author and TV chef Sandra Lee ended last year.
Okay, so while we're on this light note, you guys are the social media savvy ones. Have you helped your dad with his dating life? Gotten online for him, set up a profile and anything like that?
Nothing.
No online profile.
No online profile.
He hasn't hit Bumble quite yet, but...
No offers.
No encouragement?
No encouragement.
He's busy right now. He can get to dating post-global pandemic. Sorry.
Of course, there's always the possibility that Dad will be the one to move away from Albany, though he's repeatedly insisted he has no interest in going to Washington.
So as much as he says, I'm governor of New York for as long as they'll have me, do you guys maybe have higher aspirations for him?
I like Dad being in New York. He really likes it here. But as someone who wishes that I had someone I could vote for who would be more inspiring and someone who seems more competent, and so if that were Dad, I'd be a really grateful and proud American, and I guess a busier daughter.
For now, the governor and other leaders have their hands full with the virus. President Trump, whom Cuomo blames for mishandling the country's response, has the disease himself. And as Cuomo said, it's only halftime.
I'm wondering when you heard that the president was diagnosed with COVID, whether it shocked you.
It did shock me. It shocked me because I was aware of the protections he had around him. I think this says to everyone, this is real. You can get it. Even the President of the United States can get it. And I also hope it's a moment where this nation just puts aside the ugly politics that has become the way of this country. And let's remember that at the end of the day, we're all people trying to do our best, and we can disagree, but let's just be kinder to one another.
This is what it looks like when you breathe 40 times a minute, have an oxygen level that's dipping well below 80. This is what it's going to look like. I hope that the last moments of your life don't look like this. Because this is what you'll see at the end of your life if we don't start wearing masks when we're out in public. When we don't practice social distancing. When we don't wash our hands frequently. Because I promise you, this will be what you see. I promise you, this is what your mother or your father or your children, when they get COVID disease, will see at the end of their life. This is serious. I beg you, please practice the precautions to reduce transmission of COVID disease so that we can effectively prevent disease for you and your loved ones.